The Abuja sun burned hot, but Emeka's blood ran colder. He stood in the crowded Ryu's market, his tattered shirt clinging to his sweaty back, eyes darting like a hawk. At 25, he was nobody, a street hustler with big dreams and empty pockets. By night, he'd be dining with Nigeria's elite, but no one knew the secrets he carried. Emeka was a man who played both sides, and Abuja was his chessboard. His rise would shake the city, but his fall would be legendary. Emeka grew up in a rusty shack in Lub, scraping by on odd jobs. His mother sold a car by the roadside. His father was long gone. Hunger taught him to be sharp. He learned to read people, politicians, traders, even criminals. Abuja was a city of power, and Emeka wanted a piece. He started small, running errands for local bosses in Maitama. A bag of cash here, a whispered message there. He was invisible, but his ears were everywhere. One day, he overheard a deal in a smoky bar. Alhaji Musa, a big-time contractor, was bribing a government official for a road contract. Emeka saw his chance. He slipped a note to Musa's rival, Chief Okoye, spilling the detail for a price. Okoye paid well, and Emeka's name started buzzing. He was good, too good. Soon, he was juggling secrets for both men, playing them against each other. A smile for Musa, a nod for Okoye. Money flowed, and Emeka moved to a flashy apartment in Gaki. But secrets are heavy. Emeka's phone buzzed with coded texts. Meet at midnight, Blue Lounge. One read, it was Madam Kimi, a powerful businesswoman who ran half the city's clubs. She wanted dirt on Okoye. Emeka delivered, but he also fed Okoye lies about her. He was a spider in a web, spinning threads between Abuja's biggest players. His new suit, gold watch, and sleek car screamed success, but his heart raced every night. One wrong move, and he'd be crushed. The twist came fast. At a lavish party in Asakoro, Emeka met Zara, a journalist with eyes like fire. She was digging into corruption, sniffing too close to his deals. She charmed him, and he let his guard down. I know what you do, she whispered, her breath warm against his ear. Emeka froze. Was she a lover or a threat? He didn't know yet, but she'd change everything. By the end, one of them would betray the other, and Abuja would never forget.
The city's my cage, but it's home to me.
Emeka's new life glittered, but danger lurked in every shadow. His gawky apartment was sleek, glass tables, leather couches, a view of Abuja's skyline. At night, he sipped champagne with the elite, but by day, he was back in Ryu's market, blending in. He had to. Playing both sides meant no one could know the real Emeka. His phone never stopped buzzing. Alhaji Musa, Chief Okoye, Madam Kimi, all demanding loyalty. He gave them what they wanted, lies wrapped in truth. Musa trusted him now. Emeka, you're my eyes, he'd say, handing over stacks of naira for info on Okoye's next move. Emeka nodded, pocketed the cash, then met Okoye in a dark Maitama bar. Musa's planning to cut you out, he lied, watching Okoye's face twist. Another payout. Madam Kimi was trickier. She didn't trust easily. At her Blue Lounge, she'd grill him. Who's talking about my clubs? She'd snap. Emeka fed her half-truths, keeping her close but never too close. Zara was a problem. She kept showing up at parties, cafes, even his favorite suya spot in Wuya. Her smile was dangerous, her question sharper. Who's funding your fancy life, Emeka? She'd tease, notebook in hand. He laughed it off, but his stomach churned. She was writing a story on Abuja's corrupt elite, and Emeka's name was in her notes. He liked her, too much. Her laugh, her fearless stare. But if she dug deeper, she'd ruin him. One night, at a gala in Jabi, Emeka overheard a bombshell. Musa was smuggling diamonds through a fake charity. Emeka saw dollar signs. He tipped off Okoye, who paid double to expose Musa. But he also told Kimi, who wanted the diamonds for herself. Emeka was juggling fire now, and the heat was rising. He started carrying a small knife, just in case. Abuja streets were kind to no one. Then Zara cornered him. "I have proof," she said, showing him a photo of him with Musa's bagman. Emeka's heart stopped. "Join me, or I publish," she said. He had a choice, betray his bosses or lose everything. He kissed her instead, buying time. She kissed back, but her eyes said she'd never stop digging. Emeka was trapped, and the web was tightening.
Two sides of Abuja, I'm caught in the game. Rags to riches, but it's all the same. Dancing with shadows, I'm dodging the flame.
Emeka's world was a blur of luxury and lies. His new car, a shiny black Range Rover, turned heads in Abuja streets. He dined at Transcorp Hilton, rubbing shoulders with senators and oil barons. But every smile hid a secret. He was a puppet master, pulling strings for Musa, Okoye, and Kimi. Each thought he was theirs, but Emeka belonged to no one, except maybe Zara. He started hosting parties in his Gaki penthouse. Politicians, musicians, and shady dealers danced under his chandeliers. Emeka worked the room, collecting secrets like coins. A minister's affair here, a rigged contract there. He sold the juiciest bits to the highest bidder. His bank account swelled, but so did his enemies. Someone was watching him. He felt it. A shadow in the crowd, a car tailing him in Maitama. Zara was everywhere now. She'd slip into his parties, blending in with her sharp suits and sharper questions. "You're in deep, Emeka," she'd whisper, sipping wine. He wanted to trust her, but her notebook scared him. One night, she showed him a recording, Musa bragging about the diamond scheme. "Help me expose him," she urged. Emeka saw a way out. If Musa fell, he could shift to Okoye's side. But Kimi complicated things. She wanted the diamonds, and she wasn't asking nicely. Emeka played a dangerous move. He leaked Musa's diamond deal to a rival gang in Nyanya. They ambushed Musa's convoy, and the news exploded. Abuja buzzed with scandal. Okoye was thrilled, thinking Emeka was his man. Kimi was furious, suspecting a double-cross. Emeka played innocent, but his hands shook when he was alone. He was in too deep, and Zara's voice echoed, "You can't play both sides forever." Emeka's empire was growing, but cracks were showing. He was rich now, cash stash in secret accounts, a second apartment in Asokoro. But sleep was rare. Every knock on his door could be a friend or foe. Abuja's elite trusted him, but trust was a thin thread. One slip, and he'd be done. Zara was his weakness. They met in secret now, stealing moments in quiet cafes or dark hotel rooms. She was writing her big story, and Emeka was her source. He fed her just enough, names, dates, deals, but never the whole truth. He couldn't. If she knew everything, she'd destroy him. But her touch made him forget the danger, if only for a moment. Kimi was closing in. She invited Emeka to her private villa in Apo. "I hear you're talking to journalists," she said, her voice like ice. Emeka denied it, but her eyes saw through him. She showed him a photo, him and Zara at a used cafe. "Choose your side, Emeka," she warned. He laughed it off, but his heart pounded. Kimi wasn't like Musa or Okoye. She played dirty. Then came the twist. Emeka got a call from an unknown number. "Check your email," a voice hissed. It was a video, Musa and Okoye meeting in secret, plotting against him. They knew he was double-dealing. Emeka's blood ran cold. His two biggest clients were now his enemies. He had to act fast, but Zara's story was almost ready. If it dropped now, he'd be exposed to everyone.
The city's my cage, but it's home to me.
Emeka was running out of moves. Abuja streets felt like a cage. Musa and Okoye were onto him, and Kimi's threats were sharper. He stopped sleeping in his Gaki apartment, bouncing between hotels in Wuse and Jabi. His Range Rover was too flashy now. He switched to a beat-up Toyota to stay low. But eyes were everywhere. Zara was his only ally, but even she was dangerous. They met at a dingy bar in Gwarinpa. "I'm publishing next week," she said, her eyes fierce. Emeka begged her to wait. "Give me time," he said, but she shook her head. "The truth doesn't wait." He kissed her, desperate to keep her close, but she pulled away. "You're either with me or against me," she said. Emeka tried to outsmart his bosses. He planted fake evidence, making Musa think Okoye was stealing his deals. He told Kimi that Musa was behind the diamond heist. It bought him time, but not much. One night, he found his Toyota's tires slashed outside a club in Wuye. A note was tucked under the wiper. "You're done, Emeka." No signature, but he knew it was Kimi. He needed an exit. He started moving money to an offshore account, planning to vanish. But Zara complicated things. She showed up at his hotel, tears in her eyes. "I love you, but I can't stop," she said. Her story was ready, and his name was in it. Emeka's world was crumbling, and the final twist was coming.
With power and lies, every corner's a trap.
Emeka's life was a house of cards, and the wind was blowing. He hid in a cheap motel in Kubwa, far from Abuja's glitz. His phone was off, his accounts frozen. Musa, Okoye, and Kimi were hunting him. He'd played them all, but the game was over. Also, he thought. Zara found him. She knocked on his door at 2 a.m., her face pale. "They know," she whispered. Her story had leaked before it hit print. Someone at her newspaper sold her out. Now Musa's men were after her too. Emeka pulled her inside, his mind racing. He couldn't trust her, but he couldn't let her go. "We run together," he said. She nodded, but her eyes hid something. They fled to a safe house in Day, a crumbling shack owned by an old friend. Emeka had one last card to play, a USB drive with proof of Musa's diamond smuggling, Okoye's bribes, and Kimi's money laundering. He'd been saving it for a rainy day. This was a storm. He planned to sell to a foreign journalist, someone outside Abuja's reach. But Zara wanted it for her story. The betrayal came at dawn. Emeka woke to find Zara gone, and the USB with her. She'd left a note. "I'm sorry. The truth matters more." Emeka's heart shattered. He'd loved her, and she'd played him. He grabbed his knife and ran. Abuja was a battlefield now, and he had to fight. Emeka hit the streets, his pulse pounding. Zara had his USB, his only leverage. Without it, he was a dead man. Abuja's morning traffic roared as he weaved through views, eyes scanning for her. He knew her habits. She'd head to her editor's office in Maitama. He had to catch her before she handed over the drive. He spotted her at a bus stop, her bag clutched tight. "Zara," he shouted, pushing through the crowd. She saw him and ran, darting into an alley. Emeka chased, his legs burning. She was fast, but he was desperate. He cornered her near a dumpster, her eyes wide with fear. "Give it back," he growled. She shook her head. "This is bigger than us, Emeka." Before he could grab her, tires screeched. Kimi's men, in a black SUV, pulled up. Emeka grabbed Zara's hand, and they bolted. Gunshots rang out, shattering glass. They ducked into a market, hiding among yam sellers and cloth traders. Zara was shaking, but she still held the USB. "We can end this," she whispered. Emeka didn't listen. He didn't trust her anymore. They slipped into a taxi, heading for Lug. Emeka's old neighborhood was his last refuge. He knew every corner, every hideout. But Kimi's men were close, and Musa's goons weren't far behind. Emeka needed a plan, but Zara's betrayal burned. Could he save her and himself, or was it too late?
Two sides of Abuja, I'm caught in the game.
Lug's dusty streets were Emeka's sanctuary. He and Zara hid in a friend's shack, the air thick with tension. The USB sat between them, a ticking bomb. Emeka wanted to sell it and run. Zara wanted to publish and fight. "You'll get us killed," he snapped. She glared back. "You're already dead if you don't." Kimi's men were circling. Emeka's friend, Tunde, warned him. "They are asking questions in the market." Time was running out. Emeka hacked into an old laptop, trying to copy the USB's files. If he could split the data, he'd have leverage. But Zara watched him like a hawk. "Don't do it," she said. He ignored her. That night, Okoye's men raided Lug. Emeka and Zara barely escaped, running through backyards and over fences. They hid in an abandoned church, hearts pounding. Zara broke the silence. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said. but I can't let them win. Emeka wanted to believe her, but trust was gone. Still, he couldn't leave her. The next morning, Emeka made a call. A foreign contact, a man from Lagos, agreed to buy the USB for millions. But there was a catch: meeting Reby in public. It smelled like a trap, but Emeka had no choice. He grabbed Zara's hand. "We do this together, or not at all." She nodded, but her eyes were distant. Reby Lake was calm, but Emeka's nerves were electric. The meet was set at a crowded restaurant by the water. He and Zara sat in a corner, the USB hidden in his pocket. His buyer, a man named Victor, was late. Emeka scanned the crowd, tourists, families, no one suspicious. Yet, Victor arrived, a tall man with a scar on his cheek. "You have it?" he asked. Emeka nodded, sliding the USB across the table. Victor checked it on a laptop, then smiled. "Good. The money's wired." Emeka's phone pinged, millions in his offshore account. He exhaled, but the relief was short. Gunshots erupted. Kimi's men stormed the restaurant, tables flipping, screams filling the air. Emeka grabbed Zara, diving behind the counter. Victor was gone, the USB with him. Betrayed again. Zara's eyes were wide. "I didn't know," she swore. Emeka didn't believe her, but they had to move. They ran to the lake, stealing a boat. Bullets splashed around them as they rode into the dock. Emeka's mind raced. Victor had the USB. His money was safe, but Kimi was relentless. And Zara, could he trust her? They docked in a quiet cove, catching their breath. "We're not done," Zara said. Emeka nodded. The fight was far from over. Emeka and Zara hid in a small village outside Abuja. The shack was damp, the air heavy. Emeka's money was safe, but the USB was gone. Victor had vanished, and Kimi's men were everywhere. Musa and Okoye were quiet, too quiet. Emeka knew they were planning something big. Zara was restless. "We can still expose them," she said, typing on her phone. Emeka snatched it. "No more stories." He snapped, but deep down, he admired her fire. He just didn't trust it. They argued, voices low but sharp. "You used me," he said. She didn't deny it. "You used everyone," she shot back. A call came from Tunde. "Kimi's offering a bounty. You're worth more dead." Emeka's stomach dropped. He needed a new plan. He contacted a hacker friend in UCHE, someone who could track Victor. The hacker found him in Lagos, selling the USB to a foreign embassy. Emeka saw a chance. If he could get it back, he'd have power again. He and Zara drove to Lagos, a risky move. On the way, she opened up. "I loved you, Emeka, but I love the truth more." Her words cut deep. He wanted to hate her, but he couldn't. In Lagos, they found Victor at a hotel. Emeka confronted him, knife in hand. But Victor was ready, and he wasn't alone. Lagos was a new jungle, but Emeka was out of tricks. Victor's hotel room was a trap. Armed men waited, and Emeka and Zara were caught. Victor smirked, holding the USB. "You're good, Emeka, but not good enough." He offered a deal. Join him or die. Emeka glanced at Zara. Her eyes said fight. They broke free, a chaotic scramble. Emeka grabbed the USB, and they ran through Lagos's crowded streets. Victor's men chased, but Emeka knew how to disappear. They hid in a market, blending with traders. Zara was bleeding, a graze from a bullet. "We end this now," she said, her voice steady. Emeka had one last move. He contacted a new buyer, an NGO in Abuja fighting corruption. They'd pay for the USB and protect him. But the meet was risky, back in Abuja, where Kimi, Musa, and Okoye ruled. Emeka and Zara returned, exhausted but determined. The NGO meet was set in UCHE under tight security. At the handover, Kimi's men attacked. Emeka fought back, protecting Zara. The USB went to the NGO, and the truth hit the news. Musa and Okoye were arrested. Kimi vanished. Emeka was free, but alone. Zara's story broke, and his name was in it not as a hero, but a villain. Abuja's light still shone, but Emeka was a ghost. The NGO deal saved him from death, but not disgrace. Zara's story painted him as a man who played both sides, a hustler who fueled Abuja's corruption. The elite shunned him, his accounts were seized, and his Range Rover was gone. He was back in love, in a shack like his childhood. Zara was famous now, her story winning awards. She tried to call, but Emeka ignored her. He'd loved her, but she'd chosen the truth over him. He couldn't forgive that. Still, he read her articles, her word a reminder of what could have been. One night, a knock came. It was Tunde, with a message. Kimi was back, and she wanted revenge. Emeka wasn't surprised. He'd always known Abuja never forgets. He grabbed his knife, ready to fight. But deep down, he was tired. The rags to riches dream was gone, replaced by a truth he couldn't escape. You can't play both sides forever. The final twist, a letter from Zara, slipped under his door. I lied to protect you, it read. The real story's still out there. Emeka burned it, but the words lingered. He'd lost everything. But maybe, just maybe, there was one last game to play.
Shack dreams where the hustlers roam. Eyes on the prize, I'm chasing the gold. Abuja's my stage where stories unfold. Whose mark is loud, but my heart's ice cold. Deals in the dark, secrets bought and sold. Suits and gold watches, I'm playing.